Hey guys, welcome to Quazzistellar. Left-handed Jeff back with you. Today is going to be awesome because we're going to play with these. Let's play with them now. Hey guys, Left-handed Jeff back with you, and welcome to another episode of Quazzistellar. So glad you guys are back with us, and I just wanted to tell you guys a huge thank you for all the responses, for all the comments, and for everything you guys have done. So to just keep thanking you guys for everything, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now up front, we're going to do another 5 Quazzistellar cool swag packs today. 5 comments left below. At random, we're going to select them. We're going to send it out to you. We'll DM you. We'll take care of all that good stuff. So now that that's out of the way, let's have some fun this episode, guys, because we need to dive into this. It's going to take a little while. Last episode, I told you about the rig rundown here and gave you a little bit about all the equipment and everything. And what we're doing is we're getting ourselves ready to record this album. And to me, your sound and your tone is the first and most important thing for any guitarist that you want to do when you're getting ready to record. So I spend a lot of time on that. Now, I've got my sound dialed in that I want for this particular recording. And between this guitar, which is going to be, as I said, my primary axe that I use on this, and a few of the other selects on the wall here, this rig will do everything. The reason it does everything is really twofold. One, this amplifier is one of the most incredible tone, pure tube amplifiers ever built. So it just gives you that natural, beautiful sound that you want to, as a bass to work with. Then your pedals accent that. So we're going to dive down here onto the pedal board. I'm going to go through them one by one. I'm going to show you guys what each one of them do, and it's going to be kind of fun. I won't go too deep into it, but you'll get to see kind of what these guys do when they pull up their pedal boards. And if you ever want to have a little fun, go to YouTube and just Google what's on your pedal board and watch all the guitarists come up. It'll show what's on their pedal board. They'll explain how the stuff works and all that. It's really cool. So let's do it for ourselves this time, and we'll start right now, guys. So basically, what you have here is a series of pedal effects, okay? And I'll grab one over here that's not hooked up so that I can show it to you. These are, you know, little effects. They're built in. Everything's built into this box, and it has an in and an out, so you plug your cords in, a DC power source of some sort, and then whatever, you know, knobs that you have, and then you use your foot. It's called a foot pedal. You use your foot to push it on and off. Nowadays, they make these really nice pedal boards here with the carpet and the Velcro on the bottom. You put the Velcro on the bottom of the pedal so they don't move, and that way when you're on stage and you're moving around, you've got a nice case, you put it in, wrap it up. The great part about it is that I can take this pedal board, go to a gig or somewhere, and I don't really have to have my personal amplifier. Because as long as I've got a decent amplifier and I plug my pedals in, my pedals create my specific sound. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to start by turning everything off. And then we're going to go clean. Now you'll notice on the Fender reflecting pool, the lights are flashing, however, nothing is turned on. This one is a combination of a reverb and a delay, and those lights you see are off, which means that that's not currently active. It just has those lights that stay on. I think it's kind of cool, especially in the dark, like gigs and stuff. It looks really cool. But we're going to start clean here. So the guitar itself and the amplifier right now is all that you're hearing. This is just plugged into that amp with that amp turned on fairly low with nothing on it, no distortion, little mid, you know, little EQing to it, and that's pretty much it. Nice, beautiful, sounds great. Really good tone, really good sustain. Now, what I run, no matter what, whether I'm running a clean sound like this with no distortion or whether I'm running with distortion, I start out by giving it a little bit of body. Body means I open it up a little bit, put a little air in the room, and it almost makes it sound like when you're in a live auditorium and you've got a really big setting and the sound's bouncing off the walls. It's called reverb, obviously. So reverb is really kind of a foundational effect that everyone uses, you know, pretty much across the board. I personally use the Topanga Spring Reverb, and that is, you know, I love it. It's a great natural sounding reverb. I won't go into settings and things like that, but what I will do is I will show you the difference from the sound with and without it. So this is without it. Now we're going to turn it on. So that little air in there that you hear, just that little bounce in the background, that's the reverb. And it sounds almost like you're in a hall, and that's why they call it hall reverb, and you can choose different kinds, but it gives it just enough openness to make it kind of get some body to it. The other thing that I use as a constant is the Alter Ego, which is a vintage echo pedal, and the Alter Ego, right next to the Topanga, it is a delay pedal, but I use it very low, and I use it just for a slight tail and a slight little end on each note so that that note carries a little extra and it just gives it a little bit more body to it. So I'll do it without it, and I'll just hit a single note so that you can kind of hear. Now I'll turn it on. And it's very slight, but if you really listen, you can hear one bounce. You can hear the note go dun, 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 dun. And that second one is almost a ghost note, is what it's called, because it's not as strong as the first. So it's not noticeable. So if I didn't tell you it was on there, you wouldn't know it. But I can feel it when I play. And it also opens the notes up a little bit, so it allows this little bit of that tail to follow that note into the next one, and it makes solos sound much smoother. So that's why it's very common, too, for guys to use a slight delay like that with a reverb kind of as a constant. Now, moving on, this is my clean sound. So if I'm going to do any, clean work, that pretty much covers my sound. I can also go into a couple of these other effects down here that I use for clean a lot, especially this Dyno My Roto. The Dyno My Roto right here, this is called the 80s in a box, okay? And it's basically what's called a chorus and a flanger. It also has a rotary in there, but the chorus and flanger are the main thing that we focus on. Back in the 80s and the 90s, all of the heavy kind of guitar players, and from the video that you see in the beginning from back in 91, I had chorus on 24/7 effect on my sound. So this kind of gives me my retro sound that I used to have. I don't use it a lot anymore, but I really like it on clean because it really gives it kind of a real nice, openness to it, and it makes it a little bit extra bouncy and gives a mystery. So I'll do the same thing, and I'll put it on for you so you can hear how it sounds. Now the other one I really love is the Mxr Phase 90 right next to it, which is this orange one. This is kind of commonly in guitar circles known as the Eddie Van Halen pedal. This is the one that he runs pretty much constantly to get his sound. I'm also going to let you hear that clean because I like it when it's clean. It gives a really neat, it's called a phaser, and that phases the actual notes in and out, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Same lick. Real neat sound. So now let's move on to the distorted sound. That's where primarily 80–90% of my stuff is a distorted sound. I start with what's called the Mojo Mojo pedal by TC Electronics. Mojo Mojo pedal, I actually got turned on to by a few different people, mainly by Paul Gilbert. That's one of his primary distortions that he uses all the time. And you will notice right next to it is the Paul Gilbert PG-14 by JHS Pedals. This is his distortion, or distortion pedal that was built for him. So the Mojo Mojo is kind of more of an old school distortion. It gives you that real nice bottom end rhythm kind of sound that you want, real fat, real natural. So you can hear that little echo in the background and that little bit of a open reverb kind of thing going on. With the three of those, you can just get such a beautiful sound that's just really a basic rock sound. And I hear that sound and my heart starts pumping fast. I start feeling like I'm 17 again. So I love that combo right there. I just love that as a bass root sound. You guys are going to hear that tone a lot throughout my stuff. So moving over to the Paul Gilbert PG-14 that we showed you here, really cool pedal. What I do is I enhance my rhythm sound, and when I want to do a lead, I'll usually kick on another distortion pedal of some sort to give it that little bit of extra bite and that little extra sustain. The three that I tend to go back and forth with is the Paul Gilbert PG-14 that I showed you, the Eddie Van Halen 5150 overdrive, the EVH, and the AC booster by Exotic Effects. You can see my AC booster's not hooked up right now, and that's because I've been playing around with the PG-14, and I also got this new other effect, so I'm kind of switching them in and out and checking them out. So I will play a rhythm with it set like this, and then I'll turn on the one of these other distortions, do a little solo, and kind of show you what that kicks in gear for it. That's with the PG-14, and here's without. I love it both ways. I like soloing both ways. But you can tell with it on, it does give you that little extra boost if you're doing a harder rock solo or a solo that you need a little more bite to. Now the EVH pedal, I set a little bit hotter or a little more distortion. It gives me that little extra beyond even where I have the PG-14 set up. So when I go to do hammer-on solos, two-finger taps and things that get a little more where you want a little more kind of round noise to it, I use this one, and I'll show you the difference on that one. Same lick. That's without. Now here's with. Now that one gives it some serious bite, and I'm going to go a little further with it and just kind of show you. This is without. Sounds great. We're going to put it on. We're going to hear it with it on. I love that pedal. That will be a sound you'll hear a lot throughout this. This little setup here, just like you see it, the Alter Ego, Topanga, Mojo Mojo, and EVH, that's going to be 80% of what I do. I love, love, love that. Turn it off for the rhythm, turn it on for the solo. Beautiful thing. Now let's move over to this reflecting pull, the Fender reflecting pull here. I actually got this from the Elevated Jam tracks. I choose a lot of these for my Just Jams. I choose a lot of the Elevated Jam tracks. Their tracks are just phenomenal, and I always, every time I go over there, I find one that I just love. And in a lot of his videos, he shows this reflecting pull effect that he's using. So I was so intrigued by it that I went ahead and bought one, and I'll admit that I really haven't played a lot with it because I do have my Alter Ego and Topanga reverb and delay combo over here, and this is really the same kind of thing. It's a delay reverb combo. However, I have turned it on, I've moved a few things around, I've done some things with it clean, and I've currently got a setting on it for kind of an effect that I'm doing in a song. So I will show you at least what it does real quick. I'll do it without distortion because it sounds better. This is the reverb on it, and I'll play with it without and then with it. That's without. Now this is with the reverb from the reflecting pull. And I've got it set to a really big reverb, so that's kind of very, very open sounding. And then the delay on it, I've got set for a really hard delay, but it's kind of a cool little effect. I'll play that for you real quick. So that's pretty cool, and I'll get into that one more. We'll go over that one some other time when I'm using it specifically for a song. All of these, as I'm using them specifically for songs, I'm going to go a little further into so that we can kind of see what they all do to have fun with them. This is my fun little baby here. This is my new little toy, and I've got a full size, obviously, the old original Crybaby. And everybody knows the Crybaby. It's the Waka Waka, the Wah Wah. And this Mini has come out recently, and it works much better on a pedal board, obviously, easier to kind of manipulate. But what I found is I like it better because it has less swing on it, and it's actually a little more accurate and a little better sounding to me. I get a few cool tones out of it that I tend to like better. I love funk and groove, so I always use it for that stuff. Wah-wahs are so much fun. Next to that, obviously the Mxr, the Phase 90 that we showed you. The Dynamite Roto, which is, like I said, the chorus, and that is another really super fun one to use, especially on clean stuff. Gives you such a nice... Love that sound. Takes me back to the 80s. And then, as I said, we've got our good old EVH, which we kick into high gear when we really need to rock it. And that pretty much does it, kids. It runs down the whole rig there. I do have a few others, and I do throw them in and out. And the whole thing about a pedal board, and to me what's so great about it, a couple of things, like I said. Number one, they now have these battery packs built in on the bottom, so everything can be wired together, put into one battery pack, one power cord coming out. In the old days, all of ours had 9-volt batteries in the bottom, and we'd always run out of 9-volt batteries, and then it'd die on stage, and your guitar would start going ah and screech all over the place. So that doesn't work. But anyway, the other thing too is it's really convenient. And to me, like I said, the first and foremost thing is you can really carve your sound out to be exactly what it wants with a good pedal board put together. So for any guitarist out there, or any people out there who are looking into that, for a long time, I kind of, stayed away from pedal boards and I had limited stuff and all that. And then I finally just gave into it. And now that I have, let me tell you, it's definitely the way to go. It's definitely a cool, fun thing to do. And it's the fun part of playing guitar. And that's why we do it, right? To have fun. So guys, that's going to wrap this one up. What I do want to do is, again, remind you to click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell to get those notifications. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are giving away that Simmons drum kit. So please make sure, share and share alike. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell their dogs, tell their kids. I think you know what the music means, guys. It's time to wrap this puppy up. I hope you guys enjoyed this more than anything I did. Showing you my stuff, going through what we're going to be doing here, and I got a little surprise for you guys. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to let the music jam. We're all going to enjoy it. And I'm going to show you something. This is my new prized possession. This was sent to me by Mr. Paul Gilbert, Racer X Mr. Big. One of the, if not the, in my opinion, the finest guitarist on the planet right now. And hello, Paul Gilbert is going to be our guest. We're going to go over some kind of cool little past things where maybe our paths might have crossed here and there. So stay tuned. Coming up, next episode, guys, on Quazzistellar. Make sure, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, get them all over here, because it's on. And, I still got time, so I'm going to do it, whatever. Because I know Paul Gilbert will be proud. You can take the toys that makes the noise, but you know what? No matter what, you can't change Mother Nature, people. And with that, Left-Handed Jeff,